Hi, my name is Shannon Uteresby. Today we're going to be going over different ways the brain learns to read, and we're going to go over a reading curriculum called Unique Learning Systems. First, I am a second-year teacher. I teach students that have autism, and the reading curriculum that I have works specifically for students with disabilities. But first, we're going to hit the key characteristics of how the brain learns to read. There are three neural systems that are involved in learning to read. First, the child sees the word, and it goes through the visual cortex. Then, it's sent to the decoding area called the angular gyrus, breaking down into phoneme sounds. Lastly, it goes into the language area of the brain in the left hemisphere temporal lobe. We also have three different phases. First, the pictorial phase, where the brain associates pictures to words. This also goes back into the visual cortex, where they see the picture, and it goes into the visual cortex. Next is the phonological phase, where the students are able to notice sounds, and that sounds make letters, and students can start to sound out words phonetically. Last is the orthographic phase, where students are able to recognize words without the need to decode, and it leads to the biggest thing of all, the reading comprehension. Now I'm going to go into a little bit about autism before going into my unique learning system. Students with autism have difficulties with basic language understanding. Many students are nonverbal or have limited vocabulary, and sometimes that affects them their whole life. They can get overstimulated in classrooms, noises that might not have any issues with typical students. Just like pencils tapping and the teacher talking, that can get very overwhelming for them, which makes them have meltdowns, causing them to miss out instruction during learning sessions. Teachers can also talk too fast for them to process, causing confusion in reading and reading comprehension. So how do we reach these students that have difficulties in language and expressing themselves? Well, we have unique learning systems. This is my second year teaching unique learning systems. It has been around since 1977, and it's continuously being updated to meet the service of the students with disabilities. And with this system, I learn new things about it every day. It is made for students that have disabilities, and there are 3 levels that the students are able to get the same information on. So if you have a student that is nonverbal, we're able to reach the nonverbal student, when also in the same self-contained classroom, if there are students that can talk, we don't want to give them the same material. We're giving the students that need more support, and so it has a less modified version. It just depends on the student's level. We're going to go into each level, which also helps going into the brain-based learning. First, we have the lower lexile text, and with that, there are pictures that go along with the text. I'm just going to show you 2 books. Here are 2 books with it that they read. They both look the same, however, they're different on the inside. With the first one, I'm going to show you, they have pictures to text. So we have the text here, and then pictures to help with comprehension. This really helps for students with autism, because even if they're not able to read, they're able to follow along, and then they're able to associate the words with the pictures to help them comprehend. There's also another one, another booklet that I don't have right now, but I have the higher one. So the middle one has less, it has a little bit lower lexile, but it's more than the one with the pictures. The highest one is this one, and it has a bigger paragraph. It also has a comprehension question on the bottom, which really helps with teaching and also just with students able to read, and they're able to try and think a little bit more about the text. Again, it's really nice because it doesn't matter where the student is at in the classroom. You're just able to make sure the students are both getting the same, and they're getting the same information no matter what level that they're at. Going more into activities, we have that go straight with the book. We have different questions for like fill-ins. This one is the lowest level, to where if the student has difficulty writing or spelling, and also just associating or answering the question, you can give them a few choices. They're able to choose and then glue it on. Then we have the next level up for students that are able to read the word, and we're trying to see how, if they understand the vocabulary, they're able to go in here, and then it takes the picture out, so we're able to see how they can do there. And then going up to this one, where the students are able to write it in. Another thing is the students are able, if depending on the teacher, they can look in the book and try and see how this is how they get their information by going back into the text. For more comprehension, we have, again, one with pictures. And so even if the student has difficulty with, let's say, the word, they see the picture, and then they also see the word, which is helping them learn the vocabulary word. And then the same questions, just without the pictures. So it's very versatile for teachers who have students with autism or students with disabilities to be able to implement it just implements it really well. Everything that they're doing on here is also correlated to the state standards. And so the students are able to access the same material or close to the same material, just at a modified way. So they're still getting the information they would in a gen ed class. It's just modified to meet their needs. Another thing you'll notice is that there's not so many questions on there. Sometimes if there's a lot of questions, it can overstimulate the students. So, or just be very overwhelming and they might shut down. So this eliminates the extra stuff, and it lets the teachers know exactly where the student is at. And it has just been really great with my students. They also have, depending on what the teacher's looking for, incorporations for the computer, to where if the students need an audio to be able to understand, they can click on the text and it'll read it to them. And they can do some activities on the computer. It's just ULS provides students just to learn in their own unique way. So I hope this was a good insight on autism and how the brain learns to read, and how we're able to get even students that are nonverbal to be able to access curriculum and start learning to read and to learn their vocabulary words and comprehension. Thank you.